Hello, gentle viewers, and welcome to Caritas Connect on ZMR TV. I am Fatefa Arvin Manka, your anchor. Today we are talking wash awareness campaigns, educating communities. How can we ensure clean water, sanitation, and hygiene for all? Joining us are Mr. Fuka Collins, the wash coordinator of Caritas, and Mr. Kenfak Donald, this junior data analyst at Caritas, to enlighten us further on how to educate communities in order to ensure clean water, sanitation, and hygiene for us all. But before we get into our discussion for today, we will hear from them what has been happening at the Caritas office and in our various communities. That is the works of Caritas and what they are up to. Welcome to our program this afternoon.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being on air with you.
Thank you. So can you please update us on the recent happenings at the Caritas office?
Thank you very much, Madam Alvin. At the level of the wash department, when we talk about wash is a combination of water, sanitation, and hygiene. And the wash here, we ensure that communities have a safe access to water, ensuring that there are always facilities to ensure a safe disposal of human waste.
Yes.
And also promoting hygiene in the communities through hand washing and safe food preparation.
Okay. Aside from the wash itself, are there other activities that are going on, maybe in or out of the Caritas building itself? Because we do know that you work both at the office and in the communities, but within the FACO, that's for sure.
Yes, apart from the wash department, we have other departments within Caritas. We have the humanitarian department, and we call it CODAM.
Okay.
They are involved into humanitarian activities. They are currently now in the field, and they are doing distribution of food items,
Okay.
bedding materials to IDPs, ensuring that children are in school, they pay school fees to vulnerable children and orphans within the communities.
Alright.
Here in Fraco division. We also have the SADEP department. We call it the agroecology department, where the staffs are in the field to make sure that farmers are practicing environmental friendly activities, teaching farmers how to use their local material around the house to produce both liquid and solid manure in the communities.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for that elaborate explanation of what Caritas is up to. So over to you, Mr. Donald. Water, sanitation, and hygiene seems like basic needs, yet many communities lack these basic needs. They still struggle with access. Why is that?
Well, why communities still lack access? You know, the means, first of all, to be able to get it into your house. That's first of all one thing. And like you mentioned, there are a lot of communities who don't actually have access to this clean, potable water.
Yes.
Because we have communities at least who have some, let me say, some streams that are passing by.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that it is safe for drinking or for cooking or to use for home consumption.
Yes.
That's the issue. So we have households who actually have access, who can have water around them. But the main problem is it safe for consumption? That is the main issue. So it is a real challenge in communities that they face. We cannot really explain, and that's why Caritas is working on it to try now to send a hand to help this community, assist them in getting access to good portable water for home consumption.
Okay. Mr. Fuka, we often, many people in the communities have misconception about water, sanitation, and hygiene. Like, to them, it's often like they are very basic things. But so, what are like people always, if we keep hearing of washing hands and some other few things that people still neglect. So what are some of the misconceptions that people have about water, sanitation, and hygiene that you think should be discarded?
Normally, people within communities every day they are into either there's a belief that you wash your hands only when you want to eat,
Yes.
or maybe when they are dirty physically, or maybe when you want to greet somebody.
True.
But washing of hands should be a constant activity. It should be a routine every day for each human being. If you take your hands closer to a microscope
Yes.
to actually detect what you are carrying in your hands, you will not believe yourself. People believe that washing of hands is when you want to eat,
Or maybe when you're from the toilet.
or maybe when you're from. No, most of the times they don't even wash their hands from the toilet. You wash, maybe just wipe your hands on your trouser and you ride on. But one of the major ways to mitigate the spread of water-related diseases is by washing hands and keeping food-related items safe within your household. One of the major challenge we face in the field is cultural beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah, there are communities that they believe they cannot go away from their practices, maybe ancestral beliefs. You will tell maybe a family head that do this to avoid this. They will tell you we have been practicing this time immemorial. What are you telling us? But they don't see the dangers behind it. The rising rate of cholera, typhoid, malaria within communities is alarming. It is a call for concern, but people care less about that, and they still believe that having access to water, or maybe the unsafe sources of water, are good for them. And even if you want to try to modernize and bring in some kind of facilities, they reject.
Yes.
Because of their cultural beliefs. So it is high time people embrace change and ensure that whatsoever is coming into the communities, it is for the good of the people.
Okay. All right, Mr. Donald, what are some of the what we often hear that clean water has standards, and so we really want to understand what it means by water really being clean. So can you tell us some of the standards that clean water should have?
Standards that clean water should have. When we are in primary school, there are certain things they taught us.
Yes.
No taste, no color,
Yes.
no odor. Those are some of the minor, let me say so, that at least everybody should always keep in mind. It is very important for water not to have any odor. When it has a certain odor, that means the water will surely be bad. When the water has a taste, you find in certain communities where we have gone to, they tell you that the water they are drinking, that they had to consume, was salty. They find it salty.
Yes.
That already indicates to you that that water is not a good source of water. It is not good for consumption.
And
They
everyday
taste
use.
the water, they say it has like as if there is aluminium inside. The water has a kind of taste. That is also very dangerous
Okay.
for consumption.
All
That's in terms of taste. We have also the color. Water does not have color, it's colorless. You will not say water is white. It's not white actually, like people usually say it's not white. So water is colorless, and when you have water that has a particular color, then that water there,
It's not
it's
clean
not
or
clean.
safe for
It's not
consumption.
safe for consumption.
Okay, like you earlier mentioned, some communities manage to have streams that run through their communities, and that is what they rely on. What are some of the effective ways to ensure that in these communities the water from these sources of from these streams that they use is clean? How can they manage this water for everyday use if they do not have access to maybe boreholes or water from directly supplied from a national supplier?
Okay, to ensure that those water are clean, that water, first of all, those sources of water are clean, it will be difficult, first of all, especially when you move around us and you watch.
Yes.
Because the problem first around, what you watch around is people throw, first of all, their waste products, generally close to these streams. You'll find close to this stream, you see farms,
Yes.
and that's where we usually throw our waste products.
That's
In
correct.
communities. That already affects the water. It is not good. It makes the water not good for consumption. You'll find around these streams or these sources of water some latrines that are built around.
True.
Yes, that also affects the quality of the water. So you might pass across certain streams, actually look, like I said, it seems colorless. But there are some things, though, that means those waste products that are
Yes.
close by those streams, that affects the quality of the water of that stream. So it might be colorless, but has some, how would I put it, some waste product in terms of you can have manure that gets into the water and doesn't make a.
You can even have people living in the upper communities defecating
Into the stream.
the streams.
Yeah.
So even if you happen to carry out sensitizations in the downer
In the
section,
downer section, the upper community.
the upper community will still
is
contaminate the water.
erasing what
Yeah.
is what is
So-
being done down.
Mhm. And people most of the times they hardly differentiate between a source of drinking water and bathing. You go there, you hardly differentiate.
True.
You see people doing their laundry beside the source, and also children playing without control. And at times, the maintenance system is very weak within
Yes,
the
very
communities.
weak.
Even the water management committees that they happen to have within the communities, they are not effective. They are not effective because I think they first of all they look at the interest before that of the community.
Okay.
And I think one of the major ways to do that is through sensitization, constant sensitization, because we are having a high rate of waterborne related diseases.
Yes. Okay, like you've mentioned, it has to do with, at this point now, we are not just talking about safe water for use and household for drinking and everyday use, but sanitation and hygiene as well, which is a part of public health that is often overlooked. So how do you think, how does these poor sanitation conditions, especially around streams or water points, affect community well-being?
First of all, if you look at the communities where you mostly have children, let me focus on girls
Yes.
who maybe they are like second mothers in the homes. They often go to school late.
True. Yes. That's right.
They go to school late because they go long distances before they get water. And in the course of that, they get tired before going to school,
Before going to
and they happen to sleep in class. Now you have to look at the quality of education,
Yes.
how it affects the children at the level of school and what they retain from their classes. If you want to look at the other aspect, you look at women who maybe, for example, you look at disabled community.
Yes.
How do they have access to water within communities where they move? Maybe they go long distances before they get to the water sources.
Yes.
So it's a challenge within communities, and if communities can really mobilize themselves to have a proper management or water management committees, then it will be good for the communities and also help the children for the future of tomorrow, because what they return from classes is actually low compared to what if they have water beside their houses would be
within
better
their
for them.
reach. Yes. Okay. That's how it can affect education and community well-being as a whole. And I equally think to add that we another way it can affect communities is like if you're not healthy, there is no way you attend school effectively, and there is no way you go about your other activities, even if it's not school effectively, because if you have a poor health, you'll be down. You cannot go to the market, you cannot go to school. And so I think communities really need to take water, sanitation and hygiene very seriously. Okay, Mr. Kenfak Donald, in communities where latrines and pit toilets, let me just say toilets are scarce, what solutions do you suggest that they put in place to ensure that they are clean or effectively managed in order to prevent diseases that can come off as a result of them?
That is through sensitization, first of all.
Okay, still.
Sensitization is the most important, because you cannot go around and remove all the pit latrines that you mentioned.
Yes.
So it is more educating the community on how to treat, how to clean, how to properly manage those different latrines that are found around.
Yes.
So that is the main strategy we are going to be applying in communities. Sensitization, active sensitization, with trainings also on hygiene promotions, sensitizing the community about their hygiene, their sanitation, how important it is for them to really take care of those latrines, so that it should not affect them getting waterborne diseases that you mentioned, be it cholera, typhoid, and other ones.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this report from the Caritas Communication Watch team on the achievements that have been done so far in the communities regarding this WASH program. We'll be back shortly.
Water, they say, is life. Caritas of the Diocese of Boya have embarked on a transformative journey to provide access to safe drinking water and fighting against cholera epidemic amongst the population affected by the socio-political crisis in Fako. Caritas aim to provide 4 boreholes this year 2025 to communities suffering from water, and luckily Idina community have benefited from this assistance. These are some expressions from community leaders who were engaged during our meeting for stakeholder engagement. They express how happy they are.
I'm called Wonge Cosmas Fengla. I am the Parish Pastoral Council Chairperson of Christ the King Parish, Idenau. Today, we are happy to receive you people, Caritas, here in relation to the problem of water that we are facing in the parish for the past decades. In fact, it gives us a pleasure, because we know that this issue of water is going to solve so many problems, and especially our school children, the neighboring communities, they will benefit and they will enjoy this water. I'm called Father Leon John Mark Pukwanko, a priest of the Diocese of Boya, curate of Christ the King Parish, Idenau. We are grateful to receive Caritas of the Diocese of Boya in our community for the project of the borehole. This project is what we have been looking forward to have, and it seems eminent that very soon we will not be bothering ourselves for the need of water again. We have been suffering a lot. Many people are looking forward to see that this project come true. And as we have begun, it will come true. And so I want to thank the Bishop of the Diocese of Boya, His Lordship Bishop Michael BB. I also want to thank the donor, Conferenza Episcopal Italiana, for their charitable heart towards our community. We would like to say that God will continue to bless them to help us and to help other communities also.
My name's Ricardo Ebakumanga, a Christian of Christ the King Parish, Idina. Today I'm so delighted to see that we have the Caritas team that were actually here to give us an insight of all their projects regarding the borehole in particular. And regarding the situation of water crisis in Idina, I think to me it has brought some relief, because I think when this project is finally established, the problem of water crisis within a particular zone, not entirely Idina, will be a problem solved. I want to thank equally the parish priest for accepting that the kind of project like this comes to our community, which he himself has seen as a major problem, water being lacking at some part of the area. So I'm particularly grateful with what Caritas has brought to our parish. I want to equally use this special moment to say a big thank you to our Lord Bishop Michael Bibi, for we know that he has it in our heart, and if Caritas is coming at this time with the whole project like this, I think we want to say let God continue to bless our Father, the Bishop himself, and all the Caritas team for the effort they are putting to see that we have the little basic needs that we, particularly water, around us.
From Idina community to Wonya Mukumba village, Lower Munya, they too are so happy to welcome Caritas with this amazing initiative.
Anything we una go need from the community, any way we fit assist or push the project forward, we go gladly do them. So one just thank Caritas for this initiative, because the project come very, very timely. Thank you now.
Okay, thank you.
Price, because for us as Catholic, we know the kind of work we Caritas they do for different nations. So we want to thank Papa Bishop for choose Wonyamkumba to be a privilege for the water project, because not really a good thing we don't know how to thank una. God go bless all the people who they support the project. May God replenish their pocket. Thank you.
We don't hear about and finally we see una. Not just una come with the water project, but una get more. Until it really touch me again, now the fact say una get that's Papa Bishop don't create for the way we get environmental care. Things our Lord don't struggle, but see how the village go look clean. I think say from the training owner will give it to, it go help we and will sensitize the picking them, because picking them no easy for trainer. We'll sensitize picking them plus ourselves. How for make use of these kids them, because whoever get that attitude for the tray anyhow. But I just pray say may the training you do well, and the same time no learn from it. Thank you very much. Thank you now.
Okay, we've seen and heard. Caritas, the Caritas Wash team has engaged the Edinal community, but I would like to find out from the Wash coordinator what other communities have been engaged, and how the plan to operate in these communities upon this engagement.
So far we have engaged with 28 communities here in Fako division, and so far we are working with just 4 communities.
Okay.
But as of now we are working in 2 communities, hoping to have the other 2 communities from our own selection analysis. So currently we are working in Idina and Wonyamukumba. We are still at the preparatory stage, engaging the communities, discussing with them to make sure that they understand our mission within their communities, and also for them to give us their attention, participate, and also give us the input as concerns the project.
Yes.
So you cannot implement effectively in the community if the community is not involved in what you are doing, if they don't understand why you are there. So far, all the communities we've already started with them, they are aware of our activities. We have had meetings with the traditional councils and also sensitize the entire communities on what we are in their communities to do.
Yeah.
They are aware and they are waiting for us to take the bold step.
Okay.
You have seen in the video how happy they are to receive the good news. You know, water is life. And if you miss water, you miss life. And not just water, but safe, reliable, and sufficient water for the communities.
Okay. All right. That's very interesting to know. So, it is common for people to think that wash issues are found only in rural areas, but looking at Boya, there is relatively a high rate of water crisis. So, how much do you think, like aside from Boya, how much do you think urban areas suffer or struggle with similar challenges, like not just the water crisis, but the water, the sanitation, and the hygiene crisis altogether?
In major cities, the water crisis is as a result of, I think, of a population. The available water within the cities cannot sustain the population. And to make sure that people, they have adequate water, we need to collaborate. The stakeholders need to come together to have a proper institution to manage water and give feedback to decision makers. When you look at the sanitation within cities, I prefer that of the rural areas. Yes, because in cities you have people from diverse backgrounds with their own behaviors, and to manage such persons is not easy. If I want to talk about what Caritas is planning to do, and they are already preparing everything, we have as a measure to mitigate sanitation issues, we have to institute, or maybe to station trash cans within communities where we are operating, and we have to carry on with sensitization, and we also have to join the community to move around and clean the community. We have to provide the communities with materials, sanitation materials that they will use to be cleaning their communities. We have the trash cans, we have cutlasses, we have spades, we have rakes, that we are going to join them and clean the communities. But now, if you want to look at people in town, you discover that every morning people will go to their job site, come back in the evening, and it's difficult to actually organize a sensitization where everyone will be there, except sometimes on Sundays. But it's a challenge. But it could still be addressed.
Very possible.
If people are willing to embrace a proper sanitation measure within their community.
Okay. You are absolutely right. It's all about sensitization and including or involving everyone in this action for change. And it is really common with us Africans to not be flexible. It's difficult for Africans to adapt. Even when resources are available, we still find it challenging to fit in, or maybe to use them. And like we can see trash cans stationed by the road, the ones the council does provide, still not being used. someone will literally see the trash can and drop their trash on the ground.
That's right.
So, Mr. Kenfak Dona, what do you think, or what strategies do you think can be implemented or put in place for people to make use of or to improve sanitation practices with all the resources put in place for them?
Well, since everything will be put in place in the communities, like you're saying, we'll move around, and first of all, not just about talking up in the air to a group of people, but moving around in the whole community.
Yes.
Pinpointing exactly where the different trash cans are. First of all, there are trash can this place. It's good for you to go and throw your dirt here because it actually harms the community and yourself.
Yes.
We will present it in the form with flyers, do a poster in communities for them to know, to see when you are moving around. At least just that visual thing can also touch you.
Yeah.
The visual
Serve as a reminder.
It serve as a reminder to you that I need to also think about cleaning the community.
Yeah, it
keeping
appeals to your conscience.
It appeals to your conscience, exactly. Calling you to remember I need to keep the community clean. The trash can is found there that was put, so I need to go and put the dirt in those areas, in that trash can, and not throw it anywhere. Even during sensitization campaigns that we'll be carrying out in communities, we'll be doing that.
All right.
I think for me, radical measures needs to be taken.
Okay.
There was a time I was moving along the streets of Moliko towards the evening, and almost all food vendors, they dispose their waste into the gutters.
Okay.
I don't think we need to limit it just at the level of sanitation.
True.
One of the major causes, or the major cause of floods around here, is because we don't know how to manage our drainage.
Waste. Yeah. Okay.
You cannot imagine that you see somebody who will clean the pot, or maybe clean whatsoever and dispose into the gutter. We need to have radical measures to mitigate this situation. You cannot handle it at the level of town. It's very difficult, because you say A today, tomorrow you see B. But Caritas is out to ensure that they do their best,
Yes.
and we are going to do it. We've already had about 28 communities that we've sensitized. Even if we don't engage with them, but
Yes.
they have gained
They have
some
gained
knowledge
some knowledge
and
on
how
the
to go
do's
about
and
it.
don'ts.
Yes. But I think that involving schools is also
Very
one of the major
vital.
ways to improve on sanitation. Because if you look at when they say children are the future of tomorrow, you have to build that in them now.
Yeah, from the cradle days.
Yes, now, so that tomorrow, as they're growing up and they're seeing their parents, they have to teach them, Mama, please don't do this.
Don't do this.
Papa, pick it.
But is that practical? You know
Exactly.
where we are.
Yeah, because if you don't train the children, parents, they believe that they have had so many experiences, and maybe they have their cultural beliefs. But with
Yes.
children, we can easily
Inculcate those values. in them.
exactly, and it stays. But with parents, it's very difficult. But I just pray that what we are out for, they should embrace it and put into practice, and it should be sustainable within the communities.
Okay. All right. So talking about sustainability, WASH isn't just about health. It's not just about productivity. It's not just about education. It's equally about development, both economically and in the human sense, like generally. So how do you intend to keep this project sustainable once it is done, like after you have completed the project in these communities and handed it over to them? How do you ensure its sustainability?
We at the level of Caritas, we have had so many, I don't want to say failed projects within communities. not because they do not have sustainability measures,
Yes.
but because the communities, they are in need,
Yes.
but they don't see a reason. They don't have a reason to ensure
keep it going, yeah,
sustainability,
to make it
even when they
last.
have their water management committees.
Yes.
But now, Caritas have decided that to ensure sustainability, they will not only involve the community, but they have introduced a business aspect in the project. And the reason for the business is to ensure sustainability. How? We have to establish a business within the community of their choice. They will use the income from the business to maintain the solar boreholes that we are going to establish within their communities. They are going to form water management committees where they are going to use these people
Yes.
that they will entrust the water system in their hands to manage the business and maintain the borehole, a
Yes.
business of their choice. We cannot impose a business because we don't stay within their communities.
Yes.
They know what fits them. Definitely. So when they bring up their business idea, we have a business planner who will develop the business plan, train them how to manage the business, and Caritas would constantly monitor the business to ensure that it is sustainable and it is fulfilling its objectives in the community. So it is not just about engaging the community to know what or why you are in the community. It is about teaching them, sensitizing them, and also giving them skills to be able to use when we are not there. And business is one of the major strategy to ensure sustainability of this project.
And I think that's equally a way of making them to be more responsible and to take up leadership roles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But some will complain that we don't get time. We hook up go our business, who go manage a business. People who have the community at heart, they always create time.
But at the same time, I believe that it's going to be an opportunity for employment for people in that community who are not everybody in communities are busy at the same time. So even if it's one or two people being employed by this particular business, it's going to go a long way for the development of that community.
Exactly.
Okay, so talking about sustainability, what are some of the low cost solutions that you can suggest to communities that do not have access to external aid? Because like you mentioned, you've engaged 28 communities, but not all of them are going to be engaged. You've sensitized 28, you're going to drill boreholes and provide businesses to a few, but not all, because your hands are short, of course. So what are some of the solutions that you can provide to those communities that you are not able to help?
No community exists without water. But it is not about the quantity of water that you have.
That's correct.
It is about managing what you have effectively. We were not just involved into sensitization.
Yes.
We were also involved in training the communities how to manage their little sources of water. To have a safe drinking water, and even to make sure that they organize themselves in community cleanups, and also having areas to dispose their waste within the communities.
Yes.
We understand that finance is a problem.
Always.
Yes, it's a problem. And there's a question that somebody asked me: what is life without money? You can have life without money, but you have nature. We have so many communities that they have their natural source of water,
Yes.
like springs. But now the problem is at the level of management.
Exactly. It's always management.
How are the sources safe for the community? It is one of the major aspects that we tried to address within communities, and also to train those who have their water management committees
Yes.
on how to mitigate these water related diseases within the community, hoping that tomorrow we might have other sources of income, or maybe we might have other funders that will help us to extend also into the communities.
Okay. All right. I think those are basic low cost solutions to help communities that do not have external aid manage their sources of water. Mr. Kengfak Donald, can you help us enlighten our listeners on how citizens can contribute to caring or ensuring that their communities have improved sanitation, water and hygiene practices, like how their communities can be safe in every dimension when it comes to water, sanitation and hygiene?
Well, citizens, first of all, they are the ones living in the community.
In their communities, of
They are
course.
they are the ones who are actually impacted directly by this.
By any negatives that happen in their community.
Whether it is from water, from latrines, be it sanitation, hygiene. They are the ones living in the community, so they are the main actors actually.
Yes.
That is why, first of all, this WASH project is something that we are working hand in hand with the community,
Yes.
for them to own the project. It is not a project for Caritas that is coming to give and go. No, it is a project for
The
the community.
community.
The community owns the project and contributes to its success. That means mitigating waterborne diseases with
Yes.
cholera, typhoid, and the citizens are the heart of that project.
Yeah.
So to do that, the citizens they actually need to embrace the project first of all, and then help us. That means in educating, calling all the people in the community. The community, the citizens also have to sensitize with us, help us get to everybody in the
their
community.
communities, because of course, because when you come to sensitize,
Yeah.
not everyone is at home,
Not everyone
and then
is there.
they know their neighbors and their community members better than you do.
Yes, exactly. When we come, we can come on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday, when some people are at work.
Yes.
Children are in schools.
Some are in
It
the
will be
farm.
some are in the farms, all those things there. We cannot reach everybody. So the citizens themselves help us get to these people. They help us mobilize the people to see the importance of the project actually.
Yes.
So the citizens are very important for this program.
All right. So, what are some of the very simple measures that you think families at the level of the household and their direct environment, not the community as a whole, can adopt to improve on water, sanitation, and hygiene?
Let me say the first thing is that means we personally at our own level, first of all, individually, we have to work first of all on our water and sanitation and hygiene. We as adults, for the little ones to copy the good examples. When we are at home, the parents have to do that for the children to copy. I remember once I was traveling in the car and there was one man who was coughing. He coughed like 5 times, and each time he wasn't covering his mouth. And that means he's spreading actually some germs in the air with all those who are in the car. So you can imagine when a child in the car just first of all looks at that, he doesn't speak well. And the child might actually feel like there's nothing bad in doing those kind of action. So we first of all at the individual level have to work on that.
Now, modeling the right behavior.
Yes, making the children first of all copy the good example. Then now in terms of action, we have to wash, like we mentioned at the beginning of the program, wash our hands as frequently as possible. It's very important. There are so many things we touch with our hands. We might not notice the amount of germs we can touch. We can be touching right now on this table. We don't know what happened or whatsoever. So it's always good when we finish to always go and wash our hands as frequently as possible. When you're leaving the toilet, before you eat, all those aspects, not just limited to that, but to so many other situations. Always keep your latrines, your toilet as clean as possible. Avoid throwing your waste anywhere. Littering, they have trash cans.
Yes.
Always try to manage those waste in the right way. At your individual level, at home, it helps first of all keep your environment clean. Even in streets while you are moving, it's not because some people might keep the house clean and go and throw it outside.
Yes, and
so
they
you
litter the environment.
I personally, if you see sometimes my pockets, you will see some papers inside. You will see some papers, biscuit, because while I move around, I have eaten maybe a packet of biscuits.
Yeah, but
and
you are
I've not seen
conscious.
any trash can. You will see I'll prefer to put it
pocket
in my
it,
pocket
yeah.
rather than throwing it around anywhere. I pocket it, you will see it can stay there for 2 days maybe because I forget.
You forget.
Then the day I'm close to a trash can, I just throw it at once.
Okay.
That is at the individual level what everybody can do first of all.
Okay, I think those are really basic methods that are very good to be practiced, because like it's often said, change begins personally. So if you love yourself, I believe you'll be able to spread love.
Yeah.
You cannot give what you don't have. And I don't believe that if you love yourself and you practice personal hygiene, you are going to not practice communal hygiene.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to know from both of you what, for an organization like Caritas and individually for you in the WASH team, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned in the course of running WASH campaign awareness?
If I can tell you that I have learned, I have one important thing I've learned in the community.
Okay.
And I will cite the example of Wonya Mukumba. The unity of the community, the solidarity that they have within them.
Yes.
And when such aspects exist in communities, there is always bound to be a unique approach towards every initiative.
Yes.
If I can remember when we were at Wonya Mukumba, I think Sunday before last, they had as a task for all the youths
Yes.
to be present in the sensitization, all the children to be present in the sensitization, all the women and all the men. So they forgo their jangies and they were present there to listen to what we were there for.
Yes.
That was a sensitization. And if almost all the communities can practice that, it will be good. But I know that it is difficult to have that at the level of a city, in towns, because somebody will tell you, you know, they pay my house,
You pay my
you know,
house,
they feed me,
feed me.
you know, they pay my school fee. But there is always one aspect that unites the community. And if that is not existing, then the community suffers.
Yes.
We are not just looking at sanitation, but what are those negative consequences in communities because of unhygienic situations?
Yes.
Or poor disposal of human waste. We are now also talking about climate change. People are not aware of that, but poor hygienic conditions are also a contributing factor
Yes.
to climate change.
That's right.
We are facing water crisis. It's as a result of climate change. But now, the little water we have cannot sustain the communities. The question now is, what can we do to improve the situation when people are not aware of what they have to do when to do it, with whom they have to work with. I have also, from my experiences in the communities, I have also gathered and I'm also implementing what I saw in other communities that are good. And it is a big lesson, not only for me, but to other communities.
Yes.
So, on my side, what I can say I learned actually is having your community at heart. That was one of the major things I saw in particular communities, where you see how a particular person carries the project. Even, let me say, almost like the Caritas staff is carrying the project to present to the community.
Yes.
They are the ones who actually talk even more than us. They present the project to the community.
Yeah, they
and
pitch it
when
like...
they even ask questions, they even want to tell us to answer the question, because they actually understand the project. They love the project and love the project to come in their communities. You see how it is not even for their own benefit actually, because you see a man who has he actually has a borehole in his compound, but is willing for the project to come because he knows the
people lack it
situation.
in the communities.
He knows that there are people who actually lack water in the communities,
And they need it.
He is ready to give what is needed for the community to benefit from this project.
Okay.
And the borehole is not just a common borehole that people have within the communities.
Yeah.
It is a solar borehole with
with
a hybrid pump,
Using
meaning
both
that
electricity.
there's never a day that the community will lack water because there's no electricity. No. When there's no electricity, the solar will take over
Okay.
and they will still supply water. And there's also a 5,000 liters drum that we're going to give the community to store water for whatsoever in the community.
Yes.
Yes. So we are not just limiting this project. We have extended and we are also carrying out other activities within the project. There are 4 aspects in the project. We don't just have the borehole, we have the solar borehole, we have the distribution of hygiene kits and also community development materials. We have to carry out trainings in the communities on hygiene promotion, community leadership, and also how to manage the borehole and humanitarian principles, so that the people can have that and be able to act as flag bearers within the communities to sensitize those who do not have the opportunity to attend the trainings. We are going to train 50 people in each
Yes.
community,
That's a lot.
and we are also going to distribute jackets, 100 jackets, security jackets, so that they can use them when they want to clean, to when they have their
Clean-up
hygiene,
campaigns
clean-up
for more
campaigns.
engagement.
Yes, so they engage and they wear that, so to do that using the tools that we are going to provide for them in the community.
Not forgetting a business
Exactly.
worth 500,000 francs for the sustainability of the project,
Okay.
of the borehole.
All right. So before we go, can you leave a message for our audience on the importance of wash and taking action today, like as they hear us speak? If they have been doing something wrong, can you leave them a message that will push them to do better from this moment?
Okay, looking at what I can tell to people, I think I'll go back to what I said before. First of all, at our individual level,
Yes.
we need to work on our water sanitation and hygiene. We have given the characteristics of good water. Always make sure the water you have has those qualities: colorless, odorless, tasteless. Make sure at your level you keep your environment, your community, let me say even at a wider level, your nation, clean. Avoid throwing any waste anywhere around, and also try to teach that to people you meet in the community
Yes.
who are doing otherwise. When you see a child or someone throwing waste on the floor, always tell the person, don't do that. When you see somebody coughing up on air, it's not just for, let me see, for good looking, but it's also for the community, those around.
Yes.
You don't know who can be around or who it can affect or what the person might be suffering from. So those kind of aspect is very important at our level, and also helping others. And don't forget, when you're teaching somebody or helping somebody know something, it is not an embarrassment for the person.
Yeah, and
The
you don't
way
have to
also-
be rude or make
yeah,
them feel stupid about
feel
it.
stupid. The way you talk to the person should also help the person actually understand that what he's doing is not correct, and he needs to work on that.
Okay.
What I will tell communities is, even if this initiative cannot reach you, please manage what you have effectively. Maintain it, because tomorrow you might not find it again. We might feel that we have enough. Enough is not quality. Enough might not be safe, but find opportunities to learn and improve what you have.
Yes.
It is a call for concern. You see communities, they have good drinking water, but they cannot maintain the sources. I don't think maintaining involves a lot of money. It is about interest and dedication and having the community at heart.
That's right.
We may not find water tomorrow, meaning that there's no life. But if we can manage what we have and maintain it effectively, then we will have it today, tomorrow, and forever.
Yeah.
So I'm begging that we should try to maintain what we have and keep it safe for our own children tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, that draws us to the end of this program today. I equally want to encourage all of us to play our various parts to ensure that our water, our sanitation levels, and hygiene are improved. So let's try to be flexible, let's play our part, and let's remember that water, sanitation, and hygiene are not just necessities, they are a right. So I believe that you don't want your rights to be violated, so you shouldn't violate someone else's right. A huge thank you to you for tuning in on the program today. A huge thank you to our guests, Mr. Fuka Collins and Mr. Kengfak Donald. I was your host for this program, Fatefa Alvin Manka. Till next time, let's take action and let's stay blessed. Bye-bye.